80s by Thursday and Friday afternoons. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Keep the winter temperatures outside with propane heat from G&B Energy. We're your local providers for cost-effective propane to heat your water, warm your home, and cook your meals, even if the power goes out. For a limited time, take advantage of rebates, like up to $350 in savings on select Cozy Heat fireplaces, up to $400 on select furnaces, and tankless water heaters starting at only $295. Visit gbenergy.com to learn more. G&B Energy, family-owned and North Carolina grown.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome, welcome. Happy Green Day, Margi. And has anybody April Fools'd you?
No, not yet, thank God.
I have gotten through this whole morning and mid-afternoon with nobody doing that to me. At least I hope.
I know. Maybe your husband's doing that this afternoon.
I don't think so. I think that would not be his style. But I thought maybe yesterday I was getting April Fool's because I got punked in my email by some yucky stuff, which made me feel so vulnerable. I don't know if anything like that has ever happened to you where your email has been pirated. I said, I know what to do on Facebook if I've been hacked, but what do I do in my email? So anyway, I know this lovely pollen is affecting everyone. Everywhere you go here in the Lake Norman area, it's sitting on the lake. I saw might have even put it on where it's sweeping off the pickleball courts of pollen dust so that you can play pickleball. It's just nasty. So how was your weekend?
I think Dave Yoakum did have on Facebook April Fool's joke.
Did he?
About some sort of a problem on the water with two boats crashing or something.
Oh.
And then at the bottom, I just scanned down and it said Happy April Fool's Day.
Oh, golly. I haven't gotten any of those so far today. Fingers crossed I won't get any, that's for sure. But how was your weekend?
It was good. Saturday, Mount Zion had Parade of Tables, which was a luncheon for women. We had about 160 women there. It was
nice.
Just lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw Mrs. Mayor.
She was there. I sat next to her.
Very nice. She's a busy lady because she came to our event Saturday night too. So,
and how was your event?
Lovely. It was really lovely. Very different. Normally we do, like I said, our big ta-da gala, but we partnered with the Absolute Hope Foundation and they put on a really fun casino night, Bet on Us themed party. Usually we have a sit-down plated. This was moving around, and it was the first time I've done an event where I actually got to talk to people, which was great, and met some very generous, lovely people in our community. And I have not been able to make this announcement until now because it is now at, what time are we? 3:09 official.
Yes.
But we have purchased 2 more lots in the same neighborhood where we are. And we'll be building.
But that's such a great area for that.
We'll be building more homes. So just would like to get to the finish line, please, God, on the other 2 before we start any other projects. But super excited to know that hope will be happening there. And lucky families will get an opportunity to transform their lives.
I just love everything you do.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I wanted to say something Saturday, but in real estate, what do they say? And ain't over till the fat lady sings. Well, she sang an aria this afternoon when we got close out on that. So that is really wonderful. And you guys are hearing it first here.
Oh, good. Well, we like
community centered. So I'm excited about our guest today. I think we've had Jim Cooper from Hospice on before, and it was like, how do you get excited about hospice? But
they do so much good.
Good, amazing, angelic people in our community, and we talk about putting hope back in the headline.
That's right.
These folks must sleep really good at night.
Yeah,
knowing the work that they do.
Well, and it was interesting when I found out. Of course, once I knew Lee's diagnosis, finally, after 2 years of getting there, I called Jim that morning, and he had hospice. He had Karen there that afternoon.
They are.
And you had Karen for your dad.
I did. They are angels for
they
sure.
Are.
And so I'm excited to hear what Erin has to say to update us on. I think they're called VIA Partners now.
Yeah.
So to find out what's going on with them, learning something that they're a non-for-profit
Yes.
in the non-for-profit world, and they've got a fundraiser coming up. So we'll be sharing all of that good information in the next hour. But I do have to scoot out here early today, and I apologize for that. I have a previous commitment that I can't get out of. But I think you can take it from here.
I think so.
Miss Marguerite. I think you can take.
I should never have told you that was my real name.
Never told me. I would have some fun with that. So
if you ever really get mad at me,
call you that.
Lee used to say Marguerite, and I go, "Oh my gosh, what
that-
I did was it that bad?"
Okay. Well, if you start calling me Deborah, then I'll know I'm in trouble too. And so now that we've let the whole radio world listen in on
that's
those
okay.
names, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, no, I think we're off to a beautiful spring here with our non-for-profit partners, since we are sponsored by the McIntosh Law Firm, and they would love to see us highlight our partners that are doing good work here in the Lake Norman area. We are poised to do that, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So
Absolutely.
If you are a nonprofit partner and you are listening to Miss Margie and I, you can certainly call in or get in touch with one of us.
Yeah.
We would love to hear you tell your story or be a part of what we call community centered, where we are doing good in our community.
Trying our best.
One day at a time, right, Margie? One day at a time, one hope at a time, with a smile for sure. But actually, I was talking about you this morning with someone from the McKinney-Vento program at CMS, and they were talking about people that work with children in hospitals. So I was informing her about the good work that you do. So delighted that we can share each other's
We
mission
had
and what we do.
at St. Jude Hospital this past week a young man turning 18.
Aw.
And on his birthday, he was getting another chemo treatment.
Oh.
So all he wanted was a raffle ticket.
To what?
Whatever you know.
Like a lotto ticket or a scratch?
Lotto.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
And he wanted lunch brought in. So we brought lunch and a raffle ticket or lotto ticket or whatever it is.
Did you win anything?
I don't know.
Somebody won at our auction Saturday night an entire 11 by 14 huge thing of scratch-off tickets.
Oh, my gosh.
And I checked in with them yesterday.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
My husband loved doing that.
Yeah, they said still scratching, and I've won $42.
Yeah, right.
I said, well, 42 is better than no dollars.
I do it at Rotary every week, and I spend $5, and I can win 30.
Yeah,
it's fun.
The thing is, what do you do with the stuff that you're scratching off? Like, what is that? It just sticks everywhere. They got to come up with a better way of doing that.
That's why I do my fingernails like this, so that you don't know whether I've scratched stuff or not.
Oh, I see now. I know another secret about Margie. Her scratch off fingernails. That's amazing. Well, just shout out to all of our loyal listeners out there. But if you want to call the studio at 844-STUDIO-4, you can give us a call here. I think we've got Reese on the ready with his loaded finger waiting to pick up the phone. And if you have any questions of our VIA partner friend, Erin DeMarco, that's here today, or Margie and I with Little Smiles or Hope House, we would be happy to take your call.
Absolutely.
Or if you have a question, or if you're a non-for-profit partner and you want to get on, we would love to book you and hear your story.
Well, it looked like Saturday night people were mixing, mingling, dancing.
We had a great time. We had something new called the Photo 360. And it was this round platform that you stood on, and the camera went around you.
Okay, because I kept thinking I would have gotten so dizzy on that.
No. We didn't move. It moved around us, and we were supposed to do silly things. And I was throwing money around like I was a king, whatever. But it was super fun. And we'll tell you more when we come back from break.
McIntosh Law presents Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle. Coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, returning to more typical early April weather for our Tuesday. Sunshine coming back, a dry day of weather, and temperatures a little bit cooler. Will only warm up into the low 70s for the afternoon. Staying dry with a few extra clouds for our Wednesday. Again, temperatures right around 70. We're going to warm things up a bit more as we go into the later part of the week. even approaching the mid-80s by Thursday and Friday afternoons. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Greystone Lodge in Boone.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Friday night is the season opener for the Live Under the Oaks outdoor concert series at Birkdale Village in Huntersville. Grab your friends, family, and your lawn chairs as weekly music returns to the plaza each Friday through October. Red Rocks will be on site for beverages, and the Birkdale restaurants will be open for your Friday night dinner. The Walter Family Band performance, powered by Waves Entertainment, kicks off at 6 p.m. Friday at Birkdale Village in Huntersville with the season premiere of Live Under the Oaks. The 500 Club in Statesville presents a weekend full of fun. On Friday, Members Happy Hour begins at 5 p.m. Also enjoy the day with Glow Golf Loop. Saturday night at midnight, enjoy a good old-fashioned drive-in movie. Call 704-872-9990 or visit the 500 Club online for more details and enjoy your weekend at the 500 Club in Statesville. The Auto Fair, presented by Camping World, is back at Charlotte Motor Speedway Thursday through Saturday. The show brings together the car community in a celebration of their shared passion for all things automotive. Don't miss the Heritage Invitational, where iconic cars from all eras are gathered for up-close viewing. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for Auto Fair tickets and more information. On Saturday, come celebrate the 5th year anniversary at Lost Worlds Brewing in Cornelius. A DJ and coffee will kick off the day at 9 a.m. while live music begins at 1 p.m. Enjoy drink specials, multiple food trucks, and free admission. We'll see you Saturday at Lost Worlds Brewing in Cornelius for their 5th year anniversary party. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Merlefest 2025, presented by Window World, returns April 24th through the 27th in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear the Avett Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, The Dead South, Watch House, Wyatt Floors, I'm With Her, Leftover Salmon, The Warren Treaty, The Steel Drivers, and many more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
Macintosh Law is a proud sponsor of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. I am very proud and excited to introduce our guest. As some of you may know, I lost my husband 2 years ago this month, actually. And I made a call to hospice and talked to my friend Jim Cooper. And Jim had somebody to our house that afternoon. And I'll tell you, Debbie, you did the same with your dad. There's no greater comfort available. And we have Erin DeMarco, Strategic Account Manager, now of VIA Health Properties, formerly Hospice and Palliative Care, LKN Charlotte. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're just one of the angels.
Yes, you are.
I just can't thank you enough for everything you do.
Me as well.
Well, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to serve. It's an honor to serve our community and families. And I'm just so appreciative of the opportunity to be here and tell everybody a little bit about what hospice is and answer questions.
Yeah, and I still am not sure what the difference between hospice and palliative care.
And that's a great question. It's probably one of the number one questions we get because so many companies have had the name hospice and palliative care in the name. And that was our prior name, Hospice and Palliative Care, Charlotte and Lake Norman region. And we carried that name for years and years because we've been around since 1978. And a year and a half ago, we changed names to VIA Health Partners. So taking hospice out of the name, we really want to get the word out there. It's still us. We're still a hospice and palliative care provider. And even though it's still in our name, it's two very different services.
Okay, really, so hospice, I know.
Correct.
And explain briefly what that is. And then what palliative care is.
So hospice is really when there's probably 6 months of life expectancy or less left.
Okay.
Really, that's a guess. We don't know, but we have physicians that can certify and review the information, and we get doctor's orders to know, we might be declining where that 6 months or less is coming. It's comfort measures only, so we're going to give up more aggressive treatment. So a patient that's no longer going to be on chemotherapies, radiation, dialysis, physical therapies, all the things that will make you kind of get stronger and better. Kind of saying goodbye to those things and selecting comfort measures only to stay comfortable, to have your wishes met, to really wrap our arms around the family and the plan to give them the best quality of life that we can for the time that they have left.
Okay.
And then is it my understanding palliative is like pain management?
It
Is that
can
the
be.
difference?
Yeah. Palliative's a very, pain management's a part of what palliative care does.
Yeah.
Palliative can often be a precursor to hospice, and a palliative patient can have services for a very long time sometimes. Sometimes it can be days, sometimes it can be weeks. Sometimes we can have a patient under palliative care for years and years. It's a patient that we know a decline's coming. Maybe we're 12 to 18 months, 24 months before hospice services are needed or desired. A patient that's really wanting to try to get a little bit stronger, have physical therapy, have that chemotherapy, try some new things. And we come in and help manage their pain if there is a medication management application. But really, one of the most important things our palliative team does is the consultation piece, where we have a nurse and a nurse practitioner that comes into the home or into the nursing home or the assisted living, wherever our patients live. And we really help a patient understand their disease state, if they have comorbid conditions, if they're just getting out of the hospital, helping them understand that discharge plan and everything that goes with it. And we provide every 4 to 6 week appointments to help them manage through that decline that maybe they had out of the hospital, getting their medications back on track, and really helping a family wrap their arms around any changes of a new diagnosis.
Gotcha.
Well, Pam Mange was on our little Smiles board when we first started, and she just stole my heart because she did the kids' path. And we worked very closely with hospice and children who either lost a parent or were sick themselves. So it just, it was, I can remember saying to my husband, we need to have a come to Jesus meeting tonight. And he said, I think I need to call hospice. And he said, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I could have done.
It's a wonderful support system.
It really was unbelievable to me. The comfort right up to the end when the social worker, and I was sharing that with you today, took a thumbprint of my husband's thumb and then made it into a charm. And I wear that every day. And it just is so comforting to have that.
I think from our perspective with hospice is it was a very intimate relationship that happened very quickly and felt like we had been family for forever.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Well, we
because,
both had the same nurse.
we did, and the same people that were involved. And I think that, where do you get that else in our community, right? Where organization will step alongside of you and say, I got this. And
Well, I can remember
how are you taking care of you?
Karen
also?
coming over one day, and Lee said, please, Karen, take care of Margie, not me.
Yeah.
And she turned to me and she said, I can truly say to you, look you right in the face, I'm in love with your husband. And I said, I'm glad.
That's so sweet. It really is.
But she really loved her patients were her family.
Absolutely. Erin, what is the origin of hospice altogether? How did it get started?
Well, a hospice came about years and years and years ago. I can speak more locally here for our company, and we've been around a very long time. We're one of the most actually long-standing nonprofit companies here locally.
Beautiful.
We started in 1978 here in South Park, Myers Park area, actually, in the small basement of a church.
Wow.
And that's how we got started with our company locally. And over the years, we stayed a nonprofit. And that means we serve all patients. We never turn a patient away. And then we've just grown over the years locally, providing as many of our hospice services that we can to our Mecklenburg County population. And also now we've expanded into 38 counties which we're really excited about because that allows us amazing opportunity to serve more and more patients locally and with our nonprofit services. We have a fundraising side. We don't turn a patient away. We take all insurances. So it's really the best of both worlds for us to be able to give back to our community and make sure everyone has these amazing services that you've been talking about that you had.
For sure.
Wow.
Do you know how many people you've served?
We have served thousands and thousands and thousands over the years. Yes, we have
too many to count.
I know. We have a palliative census and then a hospice census. So we, and many times our palliative patients will transition over to hospice. And so we are able to follow those patients through a longer journey of life, which is amazing. I think probably one of the number one things that I hear as the account manager is, gosh, Erin, I really wish I would have called you to set up everything sooner.
Yeah.
I wish I would have not been so afraid of the word hospice
That's
from
right.
what I heard.
Yeah.
And that's something we really like to get out to the communities to, don't wait till the last minute, ask the questions. Hospice can be a beautiful service made up of a whole team to make your experience helpful and also keep our patients and your loved ones comfortable.
Well, and you have the extra, they ask us if we would like to see a hospice minister. And that, Rick Phelps became Lee's best friend.
Wow.
I mean, he was amazing.
So we are dispelling myths today here on the show, right? Do not wait to call. It won't hurt you, right? You'll be walked through. I remember our experience of kind of a navigator walking us through what the process was going to look like. And it's only a phone call. And
I kept saying to Karen, I feel like I called you too soon. And she said, never. I would rather have somebody call sooner than later.
Sure.
Because then she can really do her job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where would someone call if they needed to?
Absolutely. We have a main number that someone always answers 24/7, holidays, weekends, nights. And that's the beauty of hospice is it's a 24/7 company. Our direct number is 704-375-0100.
Easy enough. Easy for you to say.
If not, Google it.
That's right. And our website's amazing too, www.viahp.org. So viahp.org.
Has it been a challenge trying to get people to think outside of the box and not call it hospice and switch over to VA? Because even I messed up.
I still call it hospice.
Yeah.
I think, depending on, sometimes it can be kind of a good icebreaker when the first word, if your family is not familiar with hospice, isn't, hi, I'm Erin with hospice. Sometimes it can be helpful to kind of liaison into the VIA Health Partners. We're a hospice and palliative care company. But we're very, very, we expose what we do and we like families to understand that. Sometimes it just takes a little education around the word hospice and what that means and what that full team is offered that you're going to be able to get with services.
And that is the true meaning of team. I've never seen people work together so well.
I agree.
Oh,
I agree.
Unbelievable.
What one doesn't think of, the other one does.
Yes.
And they come in to really, it's a time in your life as a family when you're not thinking about, have I eaten? Have I done this? Have I done that? And the fact that there are people there that can remind you to do those things as you're caring for someone is really a lovely, lovely thing that you do. Besides all the other amazing, lovely things that you guys are all about. Does VIA stand for something?
VIA, that's a great question. When we rolled over to our new name, I often get asked, what does VIA stand for? It is not an acronym. VIA is a season or a channel way through. So often we'll say we're VIA Health Partners is going to help you travel VIA through the next season of life via our exceptional care. So it's really a welcoming, channeling name that really opens up for opportunities for us to work with our families through the next season.
I love that.
I do too.
I do too. I'm going to.
And you're going to have to leave us.
I am going to have to leave. I apologize, Erin. I
Good
would
luck
have loved to stay for
today.
hours. Thank you for that. And I will be seeing you next week when we are talking, I think, with Close to Flowers with the Make an Impact Foundation. Okay.
Yep.
Next week. I'll be back.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law, a staple in our community since 1997. We'll return on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, returning to more typical early April weather for our Tuesday. Sunshine coming back, a dry day of weather, and temperatures a little bit cooler. Will only warm up into the low 70s for the afternoon. Staying dry with a few extra clouds for our Wednesday. Again, temperatures right around 70. We're going to warm things up a bit more as we go into the later part of the week, even approaching the mid-80s by Thursday and Friday afternoons. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Yeehaw for rodeo season at Harrison's, the home of work, western, and wow. Whether you compete or cheer from the stands, Harrison has the looks to help you wow the crowd. Get western classics and the latest styles from Harriet, Cinch, Rock and Roll Denim, and Wrangler. Find us in Mooresville.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Inspire your team and gallop to greatness. Our horses at Willow Equine are outstanding at working with people on leadership and team building skills, perfect for corporate retreats. Visit willowequine.com as you gallop to greatness.
Hi, this is Joshua Dobie. Join me Thursdays at 4 p.m. for Dollars and Cents, a show that focuses on your personal financial journey and the markets around us. That's Dollars and Cents, Thursday afternoons at 4, here on WSIC.
Babe, dinner's ready.
Ladies.
Babe, dinner's ready.
Ever feel like your husband just isn't listening?
Dinner's ready.
Maybe he just can't hear.
Babe.
It's time to turn up the volume on life. Beltone in Mooresville and Cornelius can help with a free hearing test and expert solutions tailored for you. Call 877-HEAR-123 today. That's 877-HEAR-123. Don't wait. Call 877-432-7123 and bring back the sound of love.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
The Ugly Antenna has now become a household name in this area. The Ugly Antenna allows those without a streaming provider to receive up to 50 channels absolutely free of charge, including Fox 46.1. The Ugly Antenna is small and connects directly to your TV. Get the Ugly Antenna for just $40. Call 704-682-1755. That's 704-682-1755 for the Ugly Antenna.
24/7 worldwide, non-stop.
WSIC.
Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The drumbeat of higher tariffs is reverberating through the economy. One sign of that is in today's manufacturing report by the Institute for Supply Management. U.S. factory activity contracted in March for the first time this year, and the group's price measure reached its highest level since June of 2022. An official with the ISM Survey Committee says companies are responding to demand confusion. Many are just opting to pause their investment plans. Tariffs on foreign automobiles are set for Thursday, and consumers have been trying to get ahead of that deadline by buying cars. Researchers, including Edmunds and Cox Automotive, say auto sales got a surprise lift to start the year, with Hyundai, Kia, Ford, and GM reporting strong sales, with some even setting records. Right now, the markets are lower, down between a fraction and 0.6%. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
The number one station for people who say we're their favorite station.
WSIC.
All community, all the time. Macintosh Law presents Community Centered on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. I'm Margi Kyle, and I'm here with Erin DeMarco, and we're talking about VIA, hospice and palliative care. Do you ever have a normal day?
My day
Average
changes
day.
every day. It's definitely the industry that we serve in can change by hour and it
By
can
minute.
change by minute. So I'm the account manager, so I can't take credit for our amazing hospice nurses and social workers. They're at the bedside doing the amazing work that they do, but I'm kind of the behind the scenes,
Yes.
putting the referrals together and answering family questions and being there as a resource for our community. So my day can change. We develop relationships with hospitals in the areas. We work with all of them. We work with the nursing homes, the assisted livings, and all the doctor's offices locally.
Wow.
So I'm just there to serve when a referral comes in, when a family has a question, when we need to do something urgently, if it's a same day admission, kind of behind the scenes, working to coordinate all that and making sure all the right paperwork's in process and family questions are answered.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's good work. It's good work, and it keeps
Yeah.
me busy. So
Along with moving, you're personally moving, and you've got children, and you're very active in your husband's profession as well.
correct. So it's a very
It's a full life.
it's a full life, but it's good. I don't get bored.
No, not at all. You have, I went on your website, you do have a lot of volunteer opportunities too.
We do.
Tell us a little bit about that if somebody is thinking about helping. I mean, I've always said I wanted to be a spokesperson for hospice because I just sing your praises every day in one way or the other.
Well, the wonderful thing about a hospice company, we have this amazing team of a nurse, a CNA, a social worker, a chaplain, and then we have volunteers as options, which is wonderful because we have volunteers that can really come on and apply to the company to do anything that we would need from a patient perspective, from a back office perspective, to serve in our hospice houses. So we really try to match that volunteer's needs to our patient or company's needs. It can be sitting with a patient, playing a guitar for a patient that enjoys
Jim
music.
came over and did that.
It can be helping at the hospice house with different things that we need. Sometimes we have vendor events, and some of our volunteers like to help me set up the vendor event and serve at our table, answering questions. So really, we take all applications on our main website. If you're interested, please go to www.viahp.org. There's a volunteer section, and you can apply. And we would love to have you and fit you in the right place for volunteers because we always need them.
And you do have some continuing education courses available too.
We do. We always have our staff learning and growing, no matter if it's nursing or social work. And we also always like to keep our communities that we partner with educated. So we do a lot of on-site educations at the nursing homes, at the assisted livings, at the independent living groups. We'll help teach their med techs and their nurses different programs and different certified nursing education things that we have to offer as a company. We call it VIA HP University.
Tell us how you got involved with hospice and now VIA.
That's a great question. I was have a sales and marketing background and also a little bit of a medical degree. So over the years,
You have a little bit of a medical degree.
a little bit. I was pre-med, so I never went on to school, but I got involved in different sales applications in the medical world.
Okay.
And did hospital sales and different pharma sales, and then took a break when I had my children for 7 years.
Yeah.
And then after my youngest finished kindergarten, was ready to come back into the workforce and got a call about this company. And it was an account management position, really kind of getting back out there and working with doctors and representing a medical company. My dad was a nursing home administrator for years and years. So he We grew up in Virginia, so
Yeah.
I knew a little bit about hospice from the nursing home
Yes.
growing up in them, and just decided to it was time to give back and serve in the industry.
And that's a beautiful way to put it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Followed your dreams. Good for you. And you made them work for you
That's right.
and your schedule and your family. That's amazing. Your website is wonderful. I do want to talk a little bit about the hospice regatta coming up.
Mhm.
And Reese, if you can put that picture up before we go for our next break, we can talk about what that's all about, when it is, and how people can get involved in that.
Absolutely. We're excited about it. It's going to be here very soon. The Hospice Regatta, since we are a nonprofit, we do fundraising throughout the year, and this is
Okay.
one of our big annual fundraisers. This is actually our 25th year, and it's in the Lake Norman area, so I'm glad we're talking about it. It's going to be April 11th through April 13th. And there is a dinner on Saturday, April 12th. So what the regatta is at the Lake Norman Yacht Club.
Okay.
It's boats that will come out on Lake Norman, and there's boat races of different levels. And it's really just a fun event. So different races will happen each day. And it's a fundraiser. And then the dinner party on Saturday the 12th is a very casual dinner party. So tickets are $75. And all the money that is raised for this event, everything, all proceeds go back to our patient-centered mission. And we would just love to have anybody who would love to come out and support the regatta or the dinner. Feel free to go on our website or call our main number. There's lots of information, and we would love to have you.
Sounds like a fun, and a great way to meet some of the people
Absolutely.
involved.
Absolutely.
And see if that is something you want to get involved with, helping.
Absolutely. And we're excited and we're blessed they got clubs close to home and willing to help us, have it hosted there every year, and
Yeah.
perfect place for April boating.
Yeah. Well, and I think if our listeners out there are looking for a way to give back to the community, this is a beautiful way to do it.
Absolutely. And even if you can't attend the event, we do take donations if you would like to support via Health Partners Hospice and our patients. It just all proceeds will be going back to our families and to our, mission of just making sure all patients are served and have what they need.
How close do you work with Kids Path? Is that part of?
It is. It's absolutely part of what we do. The Kids Path program is a little bit smaller of a division. We have a special team that serves that program,
Yes,
and we do care for many children. We partner with the children's hospitals mainly and the pediatricians and some of the oncologists, but such a blessed way to be able to help support those families when needed and really offer them like the early bereavement and the grief services needed as well.
Well, I know Jim Cooper called me one day and said, I have a little guy who lost his parents. And I said, bring him to the our toy, Toys R Us, no, Smiles R Us toy shed. And I gave him a huge garbage bag and I said, fill it up. And Jim said, that's too many toys. And I said, Jim, you ever watch a child say, pick one? We'll be here all day.
That's right.
He said,
Very
never
true.
thought about that. I said, no, let him pick several.
Very true. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's such a level of support when that is needed to support a child and a family and just the whole full circle that comes
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Well, I love nonprofits helping other nonprofits. That's what
Absolutely.
we're all about.
Absolutely.
And we are going to take a short break and come back. If you have a question, please pick up the phone and call Studio 844 Studio 4, because I know Erin would love to answer any questions you have out there. So this has been so informative. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Well, and half of it's just getting the word out there that services are there and Medicare covers the services,
That's right.
insurance, and I think a lot of folks don't realize that.
My husband was so surprised. We'll be back in a minute.
we're still good in our community. It's Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC, presented by Macintosh Law.
Well, returning to more typical early April weather for our Tuesday. Sunshine coming back, a dry day of weather, and temperatures a little bit cooler. Will only warm up into the low 70s for the afternoon. Staying dry with a few extra clouds for our Wednesday. Again, temperatures right around 70. We're going to warm things up a bit more as we go into the later part of the week, even approaching the mid-80s by Thursday and Friday afternoons. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Friday night is the season opener for the Live Under the Oaks outdoor concert series at Birkdale Village in Huntersville. Grab your friends, family, and your lawn chairs as weekly music returns to the plaza each Friday through October. Red Rocks will be on site for beverages, and the Birkdale restaurants will be open for your Friday night dinner. The Walter Family Band performance, powered by Waves Entertainment, kicks off at 6 p.m. Friday at Birkdale Village in Huntersville with the season premiere of Live Under the Oaks. The 500 Club in Statesville presents a weekend full of fun. On Friday, Members Happy Hour begins at 5 p.m. Also enjoy the day with Glow Golf Loop. Saturday night at midnight, enjoy a good old-fashioned drive-in movie. Call 704-872-9990 or visit the 500 Club online for more details and enjoy your weekend at the 500 Club in Statesville. The Auto Fair, presented by Camping World, is back at Charlotte Motor Speedway Thursday through Saturday. The show brings together the car community in a celebration of their shared passion for all things automotive. Don't miss the Heritage Invitational, where iconic cars from all eras are gathered for up-close viewing. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for Auto Fair tickets and more information. On Saturday, come celebrate the 5th year anniversary at Lost Worlds Brewing in Cornelius. A DJ and coffee will kick off the day at 9 a.m. while live music begins at 1 p.m. Enjoy drink specials, multiple food trucks, and free admission. We'll see you Saturday at Lost Worlds Brewing in Cornelius for their 5th year anniversary party. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Merlefest 2025, presented by Window World, returns April 24th through the 27th in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear the Avett Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, The Dead South, Watch House, Wyatt Flores, I'm With Her, Leftover Salmon, The Warren Treaty, The Steel Drivers, and many more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
Call 844-STUDIO-4 now to join the Community Center discussion on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Presented by Macintosh Law.
Welcome back. The time is just flying as always. I'm here with Erin DeMarco. And what is the most common thing? Is it cancer, heart, or dementia, or all the above?
All the above. So that's a great question. We get asked all the time, what are the most common disease states that you see or you treat with patients? And really probably one of the most common is cancer. Yeah. I think a lot of times we think about later stages of cancer and bringing hospice in, earlier stages while you're still on chemotherapy, using palliative services. Okay. But dementia is probably one of the most underused, probably.
Yeah.
And
sad.
There's so many levels of dementia. Yeah. There's earlier stages into the later stages. And palliative care can really help with all stages of helping walk that journey with the family. And then in the later stages of dementia, we usually will bring in the hospice services when comfort measures are needed. Yeah. So those are great questions. When a patient's ready to maybe stop dialysis, they've had some kidney failure over the years. Okay. We'll use palliative while a patient is working and continuing on dialysis, and then help our palliative team bridge if dialysis is stopped over to hospice. So,
I know when Jim found out that Lee had this new disease called amyloidosis, and it was brand new, but he also had cancer and he also had a heart condition. Mm-hmm. He said, "We're going to out," and he, as I said, he had Karen over that afternoon. Mm-hmm. Because they want to learn how to work with this disease if it is new and upcoming.
Absolutely. And we're learning sometimes along with our patients and diagnosis and working with the doctors. So yeah. And our CHF program, our heart failure program is very new.
And what is that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's It's a program. We are now certified by the American Heart Association.
Okay.
And we did a year of work designing this program with one of the big cardiology groups in town just to make sure we were meeting all needs of the heart failure patients. And when they would get symptomatic or they needed different needs met, we designed a program with our palliative team, but also our hospice team, and trying to keep the heart failure exacerbations down to try to keep our patients out of the hospital.
Okay.
And I think that's the goal with the program and any of our programs, is to try to keep them out of the hospital so that way they can stay home and we can keep them with their doctors or keep us coming to the home. So if any patient has heart failure, think about palliative or hospice. Really, you can make a self-referral if needed. You can talk to your doctor, but you can just call our number or get information, and we have a full team that's willing to educate you and work with you on understanding everything you need to know.
Well, I think the key, too, is if they're healthy enough to stay at home, it's such a blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hospitals are great when we need them,
Yeah.
and they are wonderful to work with, but most of our patients, they want to stay home and don't want to go live in the hospital for a couple of days if they don't need to.
That's right. Yeah. And I also love your hospice house. That's a wonderful place for patients to be, too.
Absolutely. Yes. We have several, our closest being in Huntersville, in the business park near the hospital. And we're so blessed it's back there and available when needed. We have many, many patients that do visit our hospice house and families. And it's just part of giving back to our community.
Which you do so well. I can't think of you turning anybody away, but what, in the minute or two that we have left, what have we not covered?
Really, I would say a lot of questions I get asked are, well, how do I make a referral? Or if I think my loved one or myself may need services, what do I do? And really, hospice is a benefit that's been earned over the years. So it's a patient choicing benefit. You can make a self-referral if needed. You do have to qualify for the hospice services, but really anybody can call our main number, go on the website.
Tell us that number again. Just
It is 704-375-0100. Anyone will always answer that phone, whether it's day or night, and you can talk to a team. You can request a callback for services. The doctors in the community are amazing about really understanding services. You can talk to your personal doctor and ask them about the differences in services, but just know you can reach out to us, and we are always happy to do an informational visit or a phone call and provide you any information that you need.
Well, the one thing that was very helpful to me was when my husband's progressed in his disease, he was falling all the time. And you have hospice that comes anytime, day or night. And I remember the fire department said, "We know where you are." And it was like 2 a.m. And the hospice nurse came about 3:30. And that was just so comforting to know that you've got that medical assistance and help anytime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And whether it's a visit request, or sometimes our families will just need to talk through some things on the phone, and we do that just to kind of get through the night of, whatever's going on, and then send a nurse out if needed.
Well, whenever he felt that, you sent a nurse right out. I said, no. We've got to make sure he's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And any post-fall, we come out and visit and assess our patients, and that keeps them from having to potentially go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So we're always a phone call away for that.
And anybody who is interested in getting some spiritual help too.
Absolutely.
It was, Lee had fallen one day, and Rick Phelps came in, and he's your hospice pastor. And he was sitting on the floor, and he said, "No, I don't call 911. Rick got down on the floor, held him for about 20 minutes, and the two of them just cried. And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my life. That's just total caring about another human being.
Yes, our chaplains are amazing and our whole staff to just meet patients
That's
where
right.
they need and just be with them in the moments that are needed, because
Yeah.
hospice is just as much of a benefit for our patients as it is for the family.
It is. And Lee's nurse, Karen, got remarried, and I was fortunate enough to be asked to attend the wedding, and that was such a blessing, to be able just to sort of give back and be there and thank her for everything she's done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I can't say enough about hospice. I know it's a scary word.
It can be. It can be if you don't understand the word.
That's right.
And I think that's why these educational talks are just so important and understanding, just because the more we can understand and be educated about what hospice is, the more we can understand it for ourselves, but also help somebody else.
Well, and I love the fact Debbie and I went through the same time with the same nurse and could really share stories. And, it's inevitable. It's going to happen, but you make it so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just such a precious time in one's life that I really commend you for all you do.
We appreciate
In
that.
the last 5 minutes, what didn't we touch on?
I think we've covered everything about the services, talking about hospice, really kind of thinking about it sooner than later.
Yes.
And not pushing back on that, at least understanding and educating yourself a little bit more. Maybe taking the consultation or the admission visit with the nurse to understand more, and then you can make a decision.
Can they call and make an appointment with you or somebody else to go over everything?
They can. There's a field team of myself and others in the areas that we cover in our 38 counties, and we do info visits in person. We do them on the phone. If it's more of a clinical need assessment, we can set that up with a nurse where there's not a commitment. And there's still not a commitment at the end. You can decide at the end of the visit.
But that's a really great starting point, isn't it?
It is. Education is powerful to understand and to know a little bit more.
I think if the caretaker feels comfortable, it helps the patient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's a service. Once it's started, you really do see the benefits because you'll get weekly visits and you'll get weekly support.
Yeah.
And then that continues on after a patient passes away. We have our grief services, which can be just as important.
Yeah, I think that was about 6 months.
Yep. We'll talk about, I guess we check in about a couple weeks after a patient's passing with a family, and it can continue for 12, 13 months or however long is needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the grief part's something that's not quite talked about as much as it should be because it's the part that's definitely needed and can continue on for a little while.
I think if you can get as much help as you can,
absolutely,
it helps.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone realized how much support comes around the hospice team, but it's definitely a whole team that's there to support you and guide you and love you and be there to walk alongside the journey with you and provide your loved one with the dignity that they deserve and make sure their needs are met and they're comfortable. And we have everything managed for pain and for different medication management needs.
Well, and Lee was, Karen knew that his last night, she said, he's not going to make it through the whole day tomorrow. I'm making myself available to you anytime. Rick Phelps said the same thing. You all opened up yourself and said, you just make that phone call and we will be here.
Absolutely.
And they were unbelievable.
Well, I know they were all honored to serve you and honored to serve him.
But that's such a comfort. And I don't know why people get so afraid of it because it is the most comforting thing you can give yourself as a caretaker and your loved one who's dying. I know Lee felt very comfortable knowing that I was still under your care and it wasn't just going to end that day.
Absolutely. And that's the point, to be able to provide that service, to be supportive after the patient passes and to really be able to wrap your arms around you. And earlier starts can let us develop those relationships, which is nice.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all you do.
Well, thank you for having me. We're here to support anybody that needs help and answer any questions that they may have.
And don't you miss next Tuesday at 3 to 4 because we will be back here with Community Centered with Make an Impact. Thank you so much for being with us today. Bye for now.
serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W260